What I get them to do, I send them preparation work, so things that I want them to do in preparation for our first planning session. So it might be things like starting a who do you know list. It might be thinking about launch dates, watching compliance videos. So it's giving people things to be starting to think about before their pack arrives. Because when somebody registers, they get very, very excited. Their box might not be with them for three to 4 days. So you want to capitalise on that excitement, so I'll get them to work straight away. Get them looking at YouTube and all of the amazing videos and things that are on there. When their box arrives, within 48 hours, that planning session is booked. Because you don't want to be waiting, 7 days to get that planning session booked in. Because, like I said, when somebody joins, they're very, very excited. So it's really important that you're getting that planning session booked in immediately. Now, something that I did in my early days, it took me 5 months to recruit my first person, and that was cold market, because I didn't want to speak to any of my friends about what I was doing, was that I was afraid to tell people what they needed to do. I was afraid of telling people that they needed to go to a business presentation, and I was afraid to tell people that they needed to go to success days because I thought it might put them off. But what that meant was that I wasn't actually coaching my team effectively. So you need to give expectations. It's so crucially important. And a great way of getting around that is if you're sat with somebody and they want to build a manager business, they want to earn £2,000 a month, I will say, well, this is what the successful people do. And the successful people go to business presentations. The successful people go to success days. The successful people go to listen to all the CDs. They plug into all of the trainings. So if you want to be successful, you need to follow what the successful people do. So I never consistently went to success days, but when I started to go to success days, that's where I got my massive light bulb moments, and it made me realise that the potential of forever, and that I could do it too. So make sure that when you're sat down with somebody, you say, this is what I'm going to expect from you, and this is what you're going to expect from me. And don't be afraid. You're there to help people. So you need to be telling them what they need to be doing. And also, I think what's really important is that you need to learn to relax. Lots of people get started in this business, they think, oh, I can't plan with somebody. Yes, you can. You've started your business and you already know a lot more than the person that you're sat with. And it isn't that every planning session is going to be exactly the same. What I've done to make it easier for my team is I have a planning document. So somebody that's sat down with somebody that perhaps is brand new, they've got a checklist that they can check off so that they don't forget. So if you've got a team, think about doing a checklist for people in your team so that they can be kept on track. But it's all about how that planning session goes. So it might be I'm sat with somebody and I spend 20 minutes on goal setting, but it's not every session is exactly the same. I just bring my planning sessions to a natural close. So if I haven't done phone calls in that first planning session, it doesn't matter. I just go with what feels right when I'm doing that planning session. For me, first planning sessions are all about finding out about that person. So my key thing in my first planning session is about peeling back the layers. So finding out about that person, really exploring what makes them tick. Because most people now that come into my business are cold market. So I need to build a relationship with that person. We're all going out contact marketing now. The power of Facebook. Lots of people, which is amazing, are coming into our businesses that we don't know. So it's about building relationships with people. So I'll say, tell me about your childhood. And they go, oh, I had an amazing childhood. My parents, always looked after me, and but I'm listening out for those key words. So they're saying, oh yeah, my parents took me on amazing trips, and I think, right, okay, so she's got a great relationship with her parents, perhaps she would like to be able to give back. So it's not just about what do you want, it's all about exploring that person as finding out about their background. Lots of people will really, really open up to you if you sit there and shut up and you say, tell me about you, rather than sitting there and yap, 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 and you see the eyes glaze over, and you're trying to rush through the planning session, because I can remember I did some shockers, some real shocking planning sessions. And actually it was Tom Barrett, who is just absolutely amazing. It was Demystifying Success that changed my business. And that actually came from Diana Page at Success Day. And that changed my business completely, because then I went back to Tom Barrett and was a guest speaker there for the following 2 years. So you never ever know where things will lead. But Tom Barrett is all about listening, because you need to spend time listening to what your team are saying. And I will sit down and spend lots of time. Tell me about you. What's really important to you? What sort of income is going to make a difference? How would that feel for you achieving it? So lots of people will say what it is that they want, but what you need to do is get them really into the feelings of what is associated with that. So if somebody says to you, I want to give up the day job, and I'll say, right, just sit there for a minute. And I say, just imagine in 6 months' time, you're not working anymore. How would that feel to you? That gets people really excited. I always get them to write their resignation letter after that planning session, sign it and date it and pin it up at home, because that's really, really powerful, having that at home. So, you know, my first planning sessions, they're not an hour and a half, mine. They're about an hour tops, no more than that. But my second planning session is within 2 to 3 days. So I do things very, very quickly. And then what I do is I go through the basics. So I have a list. If I don't get through them, it does not matter. So the things that I will cover is the marketing plan. I will very briefly show them how to achieve supervisor, but then it's straight on to manager, if they want it, of course. Because you may have people in your business that just would like to earn an extra few £100s a month, which is great. But you can't force somebody that comes in and says, I want to earn a few £100s a month, and then be showing them how to get to manager. You can obviously give them an overview, but it might not be the right time. For me, it was 2 years for it to finally click. So it's all about what that person wants, not what you want them to achieve. So go through the marketing plan. Now I know that the business building discipline within Forever is 4 case credits. I don't coach 4, I coach 10. And the reason I coach 10, hello? Okay. Obviously, if somebody wants to build a serious business, if I'm showing somebody how to do 10 case credits, I'm much more likely to get 4 case credits. However, if I'm coaching somebody to do 4, you could be looking at getting 2 to 3 case credits. But it's sitting down with that person and showing them how to do 10 case credits, not saying, right, you're going to do 10 CCs, and then leaving it at that. It's saying, right, well, if we do 3 launches this month, you could be looking at 3 case credits, sell a few clean 9s, that's a couple of case credits, recruit 2. It's showing them, not telling them. And you know, if you show somebody how to do 10, it's so much easier for them to visualise. And if somebody's joining that's brand new, they don't know whether they've got to do 10 or whether they've got to do 4. You're their coach and you're there to show them the way. BPs and success days, obviously. I then go through methods of retailing. When somebody joins my business, the expectation is they need to do a C9 and they have to have a put box. And I do know that people struggle with money. That's the reason why people have joined Forever. So what I say is, we get your launch in, and I'll cover that in a second, but the money that you make from your launch, you have to reinvest that back into your business. Yes, it's nice that you're generating an income, but you have a business here that's going to change your life. You need to treat it seriously. Has anyone ever been told, oh, you just sell aloe? I have. And I just laugh, because I think, you know, what we have in our hands is a bit, we're working alongside a company that's worth 2.6 billion. You know, we have to treat, you know, our business very, very seriously. So people have to do a C9, and they have to get a put box, because that's such a great way of developing a customer base. I think my best order from a putt box was about £280, and then I recruited a lady and she went manager in 8 weeks. So these things work. So don't underestimate the power of them. A bit of a tip: has anyone ever brought anyone into their business and they've been holding off on their launches? Oh, I'll leave it 3 or 4 weeks. Oh no, I can't do that date, I can't do that date. Anyone had that? Yeah. Okay. So when I'm sat down with somebody for the first time, I say, right, we're going to get your launches booked. This is my availability. So I give them the dates that I'm available. I don't say to them, what dates are you free? These are the dates I'm available. Let's get it booked in. And you get that launch booked in within 7 days. So I had a lady that joined me on Tuesday. What day is it today? Sunday. I had her launch on Friday. So that's how quickly I get it in. She's been waiting for a long time to join Forever. She's been saving up for her boss. She was very, very excited. So I had to get her launch in because, you know, these people are really, really excited about starting on their Forever journey. Do not come away from that planning session without the launch booked. Stress how important it is to have that launch. So what I do is, what I try not to do in the first planning session is, I don't make calls in the first planning session, because what I find is, I want to spend lots of time finding out about that person, trying to get the emotion. I'm quite good at that. I get lots of people crying, which is a good thing, because I know that people are connected to why they're doing it. And we've got a lot of information to go through. So what happens is, I then give them a 7-day plan. And that's where I get them to go away and prepare for the next session. Because my second session is where we start to make phone calls. Because what I'm finding is happening is people are coming away from the planning session quite overwhelmed. We've gone through a lot of information, you know, the case credits, going through their goals, and I need to give them homework for the next planning session. And my next planning session is normally within 3 to 4 days max from that first planning session. Obviously making sure that the homework that I set, that they're going to have had that done in time. So the kind of homework that I do is when we sit down, we do the 7-day plan together, and in your first steps to manage a book, in the back there is sheets for your 7-day plan. So we write in the 7-day plan in the back of the book. So the first thing I do is get them to get 2 folders, 2 ring binders. What I do is I have an A to Z, which is where profile sheets are, and then I have a weekly active folder. And my weekly active folder has my Who Do You Know list in. It has 1 to 7 dividers, which are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I have my activity trackers in there. So what happens is, on a Sunday when I'm doing my 7-day plan, I plan my week, my profile sheets come out into my weekly active folder. And that's a folder that goes with me everywhere. It's so important that you are being organised and you're planning your week, especially if people are working full time. You know, people need to have, come to a Monday and know exactly where they're going to be working and what they're going to be doing. Because if you come to Monday and they're not planned, you know, they're going to feel very overwhelmed. So I do that 7-day plan with them. So the 2 folders they need to bring back next time. I also get them to print off profile sheets, the activity trackers, extra Who Do You Know lists. And I get them to bring back 15 completed profile sheets to bring back to the next planning session. I also get them to record, if they've started to naturally just talk to people about it, just simply jot those names down on an activity tracker. I then get them to start plugging into some of the training that is online. YouTube is such a fantastic tool now. You know, Forever UK, if you're not subscribed, you need to be, because there is a wealth of training there. And you know if somebody's serious because they're going away and they're doing this stuff off the top without even, you know, being asked to go and have a look. But on there's all sorts of trainings that people can plug into. Again, watch the compliance videos. You can find all of these on Forever UK. It's so important we know what we're doing and what we're putting out there on social media. So for me, watching the compliance videos is really, really crucial. And then what I did do for my team was I recorded myself doing a dummy one-to-one. I just did it on a GoToWebinar, but you can record yourself on your phones and things now. So what I get my team to do is watch that training video. What I've always learned in this business, and I learned the hard way, was that I needed to create independent FBOs. And what I created in the early days was dependent FBOs, because I was doing everything for them, even putting folders together and giving them profile sheets, doing all their launches, all their one-to-ones. And then when I got serious, I knew that I needed to help people, and the way that I was going to help people is let them go out and learn on their own. So what I get people to do is watch how I do a one-to-one, and then I get them to go out there and practice. I don't do them for them. So they've got that basic training there for them to watch. But what I do is in the second planning session, it's straight on the phone, and I didn't phone anybody. If anyone knows me, I didn't pick up the phone because I was so scared. But nobody comes away from my planning sessions without making calls. And that's because I make it really simple and really easy. Say all we're going to do now is just phone a few people so that you can book some practice one-to-ones. As simple as that. And that's me done. I don't know, how long was that? Was I on time? So thank you all very much for listening. I hope you take lots of notes. Hope's a swear word. I'm not allowed to use that, am I? But thank you very much for listening.